Hello friends, Eli here. I am here for a kind of a cool video. I'm going to start my horror movie collection, just DVDs and Blu-ray. Something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've even talked about it once or twice, so might as well start now. In the background we're listening to Helsefire, Swedish black metal. This is a demo compilation of their first two, and I think only two demos. The Land of No Return and Deadly Black I Am. This came out on Total Holocaust Records in 2005. First time listening to it, actually. I think it's really fucking good, to be honest. Just two guys out of Sweden. And yeah, and if you like what you hear, I will have copies in my distro. If you would like to order one, I can get you one for cheap. I think it's real good stuff. So anyways, I'm going to do this pretty much the same way I do my my music collection, which is, you know, just 10 titles at a time. So here we go. Starting off with Acacia. Gosh, I'm going right into this one kind of blind. I bought this one years back, and to be honest, I haven't ever seen it. I was gonna say it's a Japanese movie, but it's actually South Korean. Yeah, it's a ghost, kind of a ghost folk story. But yeah, I'm gonna stop right there because I have not watched it yet. The reason I bought it is, it was a random find in a store that we used to have that would have a lot of like obscure horror movies, and the reason I bought it is I would always pick up a lot of these Tartan Asia Extreme titles. They're not always great, but a lot of times they are. So, sorry I failed you on that one. To be honest, I have quite a few horror movies in my collection. I have not seen all of them. There's probably at least 50 that I haven't seen. So we're gonna come across some of those. But just like with my music, I can't listen to it all in a timely manner. So I'm sure you guys are the same way. And I'll also kind of a quick, sorry, get distracted here. Not every single movie that I'm going to show is going to be horror. I kind of mixed in like sci-fi with it, and also a couple just, you know, weird titles that I thought, you know, kind of fitted in with horror, but even though they might not be classified that way. So there's going to be a couple oddballs like this one right here, Afro Samurai. I mean, this is an anime. To be honest, it's one of the few anime movies that I own. Just once again, it was kind of a random buy. I bought this years ago. Thought it looked cool, and it is cool. It's got Samuel L. Jackson, and he plays the voice of, I think he plays the voice of the main guy, or does he? He might. I can't remember. No, he doesn't. He doesn't play the voice of the main guy. But anyways, it's pretty much a revenge story. This guy out to kill the dude that killed his father. Yeah. Anyways, it's brutal, you know, violent anime. It's pretty good. Louis. And next we have an all-time classic. There's not a human on the planet that will deny that, and if there are, I will fight every single one of them one by one. We have Alien. This is an all-timer for me, and I'm sure it's an all-timer for damn near everyone watching. There is not one thing that I can say about this movie that would, that would do it justice that hasn't been said, you know, for the last 30 years or whatever. So I'm not even going to bother. But I can just say that much at least. It is one of my all-time favorite movies, one of my all-time favorite franchises. I mean, I could go on and on, but there's really not a lot of point in doing so. I actually have 2 copies. Yeah. There are different pressings of the same movie. I didn't intentionally... I can't remember why I bought this other one. I think I was going to give it to a friend or something, some shit. Next, And yes, you are going to notice that I'm missing aliens. No, that is not intentional. I do want that movie. I just, for some reason, don't have it. I probably had it at one point, and I had to have. So that's, yeah, I'm going to need to to run out and grab that real soon to rectify that shit. So we're going to jump to Alien 3. Blu-ray there. I'm not a massive fan of Alien 3. I think it's watchable. I think it's a good movie. It is certainly not a great movie. It definitely falls short. You know, going from Alien to Aliens to this. You know, it had to have been a letdown for just about everybody. I can't imagine anyone being just completely pleased with it. But hey, I mean, yeah, I can't make any excuses for it turning out the way that it did. But you know, yeah, it happened the way it happened. Anyways, this particular release, I've shown this before, but for those of you that didn't see it when I bought it, comes with these cool like postcards. They're actually pretty badass. They're glossy, and they're fucking cool. Pretty fucking awesome. So yeah, I like Alien 3, but I don't love it. That's for damn sure. And you know, that might vary. For some people might completely love this movie, and I mean, yeah, I wouldn't argue with them. And then we have kind of another controversial addition to the Alien franchise. Controversial for more than one reason, really. But anyways, we have Prometheus. I got it on Blu-ray, and I also have it on DVD. So there's kind of a lot to say about this movie, and I'm not going to go into it super. I'm not going to spend a lot of time rambling about it because I'm not good at that kind of thing. You know, I don't script my videos or anything like that. So, anyways, Prometheus is, to be honest, I'm even a little bit confused on where this movie stands in the Alien universe. It's seen as a prequel, but then it's confusing because I mean there definitely is. It is definitely tied into the Alien lore, but at the same time, the aliens in this movie, they don't look exactly like the xenomorphs from all the other Alien movies. And even to the point where, I mean, it's been said that, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it has been said that this movie can be seen as a prequel and it can also be seen as a standalone movie. I don't fucking understand that shit. Ridley Scott directed it, so I don't know. I guess I'd like to ask him a few questions, but I see it as a prequel in the Alien lore. A lot of people don't like this movie. I actually like this one a lot. You know, I've been told by some friends that I'm probably just, you know, a sucker for the visuals, because I mean this movie does look fucking fantastic from start to finish. The visuals are just complete 10 out of 10. But I mean, yeah, I can see why they might say that, and I agree with them to some extent. But I like this movie for, you know, things other than that. There's I don't know. It is dull at times, and there are times. There are things about this movie that I felt let down by, like the cast, for example. But this is the problem that I have, and that you know many of us have with modern movies, is that you know there's very little character development, so you know you don't feel necessarily attached to, you know, most characters in most movies these days. It's very it sucks, to be honest. I don't know what the problem is. So yeah, anyway, the cast here, I mean, Michael Fassbender's great, as he is in most everything. he's great. There's maybe a one or two other characters that are decent, and then the rest of them are pretty forgettable. And that is kind of a problem, especially compared to the other Aliens movies where the characters are developed a little better. They have their own personalities and the way that humans are supposed to be. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot about this movie that I like, and I don't know. I guess I'm glad that I can enjoy it because I know a lot of people can't. So I guess I rewatch this thing, every year or two, and I don't know. I enjoy it every time. I also have the most recent addition to the Alien franchise, which this one is like probably my least favorite out of all of them. And we got Alien Covenant. I've seen a lot of people say that they like this movie a lot more than Prometheus, and I don't get that, man. I like this movie a lot less than Prometheus. I don't know. I mean, there are some strong things about this movie. They did a little bit. There's some new additions to the xenomorph. Varieties. There are some things in here that are new that you haven't seen before, but I don't know. It's just not enough for me. The story, the storyline feels very, very convoluted, and honestly, not really all that interesting. The concept of the movie is cool, but there's I don't know. There's not a lot about this movie that I like. I don't know how you guys feel. I also have another movie that for me is kind of worthless. I just can't get into this or the other one. There's two of these, but Alien vs. Predator Requiem. So this is the second one. Couldn't get into the one before this at all, and to be honest, I don't even know if I finished this one. I might have to throw it on later and just try to get into it, or at least finish it. But I can't get into these movies. As awesome as they sound and as awesome as they should be, I just feel like they aren't. So anyways, yeah, I'm sure you guys know all about these. You've seen them or you've at least heard of them, and they are basically what they sound like. I'm just not a fan. And got a couple more here. We have a movie that I've known about for quite a long time, but I think I bought this a year or two ago, and I love this movie. We got Altered States. William Hurt is in this. I just think it's awesome. It is, I guess it's probably more of a sci-fi than a horror, but in my opinion, it kind of fits into the sci-fi horror realm. Since I've only seen it once, I don't know really how to describe it real quick. I'll just read the front of it. Just the front of the DVD. In the basement of a medical school, Dr. Jessup floats in total darkness. The most terrifying experiment in the history of science is out of control, and the subject is himself. Anyways, it is about a scientist, played by William Hurt, who, I'll read the back now, believes the other states of consciousness are as real as everyday reality. Using sensory deprivation and adding powerful hallucinogenic drugs, he finds these altered states and endures experiences that make madness seem a blessing. And yeah, it's pretty crazy how shit goes down in this movie. It almost reminds me of like a I don't want to give too much away. It almost kind of reminds me of The Fly. You have this I don't want to say crazy scientist, but very eccentric scientist who, yeah, kind of reminds me of that in a way. But really, really good movie. Highly recommended if you haven't seen it. Next we have American Mary. I liked this movie quite a bit. I was rewatching it actually not too long ago, and I find that it kind of didn't age with me as well as I had thought it would. I think it's still a good movie. I do recommend this, but I mean, it's definitely flawed, but it's real entertaining. It is basically about a medical student who. What can I say about this to not? I don't want to throw any spoilers out there. Yeah, I don't. I definitely don't know how to describe it without spoiling it. Anyways, it's about a medical student, a girl who's going to school to be a surgeon, and she kind of just gets herself drawn into this world of like extreme body modification. And I'll kind of just leave it at that. But it's an entertaining movie. I definitely recommend it. It's worth a watch. And last but not least, this for me is an all-time classic. I saw this in the theater when it came out, and I was only like 16 or 17 years old. So to be honest, I didn't understand it really at all. I wasn't even into horror movies at that time. I went with a friend, and I think it was her choice to see it, not mine. But years later, it would become literally one of my all-time favorite movies. And so we have American Psycho, uncut version, Christian Bale. This movie is fantastic. I mean, it's at this point, it's even iconic, which is something that I guess I didn't see happening when I saw it in the theater. I just I didn't know it would become the iconic movie it is now. But Christian Bale plays Patrick Bateman, who's an iconic character in an iconic movie. I've said iconic now I think 4 times, so I should probably just stop myself. It's super early in the morning. I shouldn't have done a video, but hey, I think this is pretty much par for the course for an Eli video. But take what you will from it, and what's most important is that I'm bringing my horror movie collection into the the realm of my channel here, and we can talk about horror movies now instead of just music, because other than heavy metal, horror movies is like one of my other passions in life. So it's another big thing for me. It's a big part of my life. So yeah, there we go. I hope that went all right. I'm not the greatest at describing things off the cuff, so I do my best. That's what more can you do? So anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about these titles. I know nothing there that you probably, most of you haven't seen, but yeah, let me know what you think about them. And thanks for stopping by. We'll talk soon. Cheers.